Hello everyone, and welcome back to Practical English. In the last video, we talked about how to start a conversation. You learned that small talk can begin with something simple, a comment, a question, or a friendly observation. But starting is only the first step. A lot of learners know how to open a conversation, but then comes the difficult part, keeping it going. The other person answers, there's a short pause, and you start wondering, what should I say now? How do I continue without sounding awkward or repetitive? If that feels familiar, this video is for you. Today, we're moving to the next level. You'll learn how to keep a conversation flowing in a more natural way, not by talking more, but by connecting better. I'll show you 3 practical tools that can help you do that, and then we'll look at a realistic dialogue together so you can hear how these tools sound in real life. This video is for B1 to B2 level learners, so the goal today is to help you sound a little more relaxed, a little more natural, and a little more confident in conversation. Let's get started. Before we look at the tools, I want to say something important. Keeping a conversation going is not about filling silence. It's not about being funny or interesting. It's about making the other person feel heard. When people feel heard, they want to keep talking. That's your job. You already know follow-up questions from the previous video. Good. But at a B1, B2 level, we go one step further. First, you react. Then you dig a little deeper. Here's the difference. Someone says, I just got back from Portugal. A basic response is, oh, nice. A stronger response is, oh, nice. How long were you there? Or, oh, wow, Portugal. Did you like it? You react first. That shows the person that you were really listening. Then you ask. It feels much more natural. And the reaction doesn't have to be big. Even a small, oh really, or wait, seriously, is enough. Just make sure it sounds genuine. Don't pretend to be surprised. Just respond like a normal person. Let's look at a couple more examples. Someone says, I've been learning to cook lately. You could say, oh nice, what made you start? Or someone says, act, then you dig a little deeper. It's a very small change, but it makes you sound much more natural, more present, and more interested in the other person. Now, here's a mistake many learners make. They ask one question, then another, and after a while, the conversation starts to feel less like a conversation and more like an interview. So what's the fix? After the other person shares something, you share a little something too. Not a long story, not a speech, just a short connection, your own experience, a similar feeling, or something relevant. For example, someone says, I've been really stressed at work lately. You might say, I know the feeling. I'd had a really intense few months earlier this year too. And then you hand it back. Is it getting better now? That's the key. You're not making the conversation all about you. You're showing connection. You're building a bridge. And that's what makes small talk feel warmer, more real, and more natural. Keep it short. 1 or 2 sentences is enough. Then give the conversation back to them. They say, I moved here about 6 months ago. Oh, interesting. I moved to a new city a few years ago too. It takes time to find your people, right? Or they say, I'm trying to get into running. Oh, I went through that phase too. It's hard at the beginning. Are you enjoying it so far? Short, relevant, and then back to them. That's the rhythm you want. Now let's talk about something else that happens all the time in real conversations. Sometimes a topic just runs out of energy. That's normal. Every topic has a natural ending. The problem is not that the topic ends. The problem is when the whole conversation ends with it. That's where bridging helps. At B1, B2 level, you start learning how to move from one topic to another smoothly, without sounding random or awkward. A few phrases are really useful here. That reminds me. Speaking of which, actually, on a completely different note, random question, but these phrases prepare the other person. They signal that you're changing direction a little, and that makes the transition feel easy and natural. For example, Maybe you've been talking about travel, and that topic is starting to wind down. You could say, "That reminds me, have you done much traveling since you moved here?" Or maybe you want to change the subject completely. You could say, "Totally different topic, but how do you know the host?" It doesn't sound forced. It sounds friendly, and it keeps the conversation moving.
So now you have the three tools: react and dig deeper, share something back, and bridge to a new topic. Now let's hear what that sounds like in a real conversation. You're about to hear a dialogue between Maya and Daniel. They're at a small event and they don't know each other yet. As you listen, see if you can notice the three tools in action. Listen for the reaction, listen for the shared connection, and listen for the moment when the conversation moves naturally into a new topic.
This is such a nice venue. Do you come to these events often?
Not really. A friend dragged me along, but I'm glad I came.
Oh yeah? What made you say yes?
Honestly, I've been trying to get out more. I work from home, so it's very easy to just stay in.
I totally get that. I worked from home for a year and I really had to push myself to leave the apartment. Has it helped getting out more?
I think so, yeah. I've been feeling more like myself lately.
That's really good to hear. Actually, on a completely different note, what kind of work do you do? You mentioned working from home.
I'm a graphic designer, mostly for small businesses. What about you?
I work in marketing, so actually kind of a similar world.
Oh, interesting. Do you work with designers a lot?
All the time. It's always an interesting dynamic.
I can imagine. Let's just say I've had some memorable client experiences.
I'd love to hear one sometime.
Before we finish, let's go over a few useful phrases from today's lesson. For reacting and digging deeper, "Oh wow, how long did that take?" "Wait, really? What happened?" For sharing something back, "I know that feeling. I went through something similar." "That happened to me too, actually." For bridging to a new topic, "That reminds me." Totally different topic, but speaking of which, you don't need to learn all of them at once. Just choose one or two and try to use them this week. Even once is enough to get started.
For more videos like this, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to get updates.